So zero to hero, momentum makers, momentum creators. Let's go.
All right. Hello, everyone. Today we're honored to host Tanguy, the co-founder and CEO of Prolong. Prolong is revolutionizing the fashion industry by providing an omni-channel platform that enables brands to seamlessly integrate after-sales services, such as, for example, care and repair, promoting sustainable consumption. So today we will hear all about his story as an entrepreneur first, and also the development of Prolong itself. Thank you so much for being with us today, Tanguy.
Thank you very much, Vlada, Erika, for inviting me. I'm very happy to participate to this podcast, and I hope there will be some great insights out of it. I hope.
We are happy to have you, Tanguy. Thank you so much one more time to be with us and to dedicate us this hour together. So let's start. We would like to start, of course, from the beginning. So the first question we have for you is if you can maybe just give us a little bit of background of your story. So what actually inspired you to co-found Prolong? And if you can please tell us maybe something about your previous experiences, because if I understand properly, you had already some experiences in the past with founding a startup. So if you can just give us some more details about everything.
Sure. I'm Tanguy. I'm 38 years old. I come from a city called Lyon in the middle southeast of France. Studied in a business school. I was passionate with companies, like with how a company is working, is thriving. Entrepreneurship was something I was always really interested in, but I was kind of scared at the very beginning to launch my own company just right after graduating from business school. So I said, okay, let's first work in different type of companies. So I started my career in New York. Actually, I worked for a French retail software provider called Cegid, and that was my first experience there. I stayed 5 years for Cegid, working as a business development manager. So really working, helping French brands expanding on the North American market, Mexico, USA, Canada, mainly French brands, but we also tried, not really succeed, but tried to sell this French software to local brands in North America. That was super interesting. Did that for 5 years. We grew the business over the years out there. Then moved in London for Microsoft companies, starting to work on indirect sales, still for retail software. I was indirectly selling the Microsoft ERP that used to be called AX for retail in the EMEA zone. So I was the head of sales for this product. Then so stayed there for a year and a half. Then wanted to start working in the startup world. So worked for a company called Wind, based in Paris. It was an omnichannel commerce platform. And I was like one of the 30th employee there. And the company went from 30 employees to more than 300 employees in just a couple of months and years. So huge scale, super interesting. Would be lying to say that the boat wasn't shaking at some point, because when you grow that fast, it's very hard. And I was managing for this company all the top of the funnel, so all the business development, the marketing, with a team. Yeah, that was an incredible experience. 2.5 years there, and 2019 for me it was the time to actually start building my own ventures. So of course I decided to look for something in the retail tech space, because this is what I did for almost 10 years and what I loved, where I built my expertise, my network as well. But I said, okay, you're about to set something up. Let's do it with a hint of sustainability. Let's try to have a little bit of great impact, whether it will be social, environmental, on the planet, and let's serve the mission to something great. And at the time, I was really looking at resale business models. But when you start thinking of building a company, you try to open up to many different type of profiles of topics. And turns out that meeting after meeting, I actually started talking to a group of people that were working on an idea of building a rental platform for brands, B2B software for brands to help them rent some of their products. And I found the idea great and decided to just join and co-found this project. And that was my first company, so that we built in 2019 called Lizzy, which is still there. So we really built from scratch a B2B SaaS platform for brands that is used today by more than 40 brands across Europe, mainly in the sporting good industry. And I actually, so I helped the business go from 0 to 1, basically 0 million to 1 million euro in ARR, and decided to leave the boat in summer 22, because I was already, I co-founded this company with a co-founder called Anna, and she was more than capable to lead the operations to go from 1 to 100 with the rest of the team and our investors. And I wanted to explore a topic that was unspoiled in my mind, at least, which was the maintenance of products in the fashion world. When you think about it, maintenance, like after sales, is super well covered, super well addressed in verticals like the car industry. There is this famous commercial, who better than Renault can take care of your Renault? It sounds obvious, and they make a lot of money, and their margins are super high in car maintenance. But in the fashion industry, there is almost nothing. Even in the luxury industry, it's not something that brands really claim because they have a hard time to manage the returns.
Yeah.
If you look at the electronic industry, it's something that is also getting quite big, product maintenance. In fact, there are laws that are now making, like, the manufacturers have an obligation since last summer to offer out of warranty repairs options. And it's coming to the fashion world. And when I say fashion, it's textile, jewelry, watch, handbags, strollers,
luxury, basically.
footwear, every type of stuff that you can carry and wear. And that's basically where the idea of Prolong came.
Tanguy, thanks a lot for the little, for all the information, and I think you have an impressive background. It's very interesting. So let's circle back a little bit of what you said at the beginning, that you have a sales soul a little bit. You started with that, and I'm curious to know how your experience in sales first, and then your first startup that you mentioned, Wings, if I'm not wrong, how that impacted, helped you to grow into the entrepreneur that you are today. What do you think helped you the most of your background?
That's a good point. I think a lot of startups fail because they don't know how to sell, or they sell too late. And for me, before building, sell, because if you don't sell, it means your product is useless. Nobody will use it, buy it. So for me, it's sell first, build later. Of course, someone that sells don't know how to build, but someone that builds probably don't know how to sell. So that's why I think building a company alone is very hard, because you need different type of profile. I would say that the ideal world, you have a tech or a product and a sales person. So I am indeed really like a salesperson. I did business school, I did sales, I did marketing, business development. I love that. I think I'm good in that, but I'm definitely not great at all in building product, developing product, even worse. So I think it's two different.
Two different, I would say, pillars, the technical side and the sales side, because one cannot exist without the other, for sure. And I'm curious, how did you find your first co-founder, or your CTO for Lizzy, for example, for the first company you built?
So the first company, actually, I was approached by, I got connected to a person, Alban Seyag, who's now the CEO of Usign, who was working with a woman, Anna Balez, on this project, and he was leading a startup studio called Big Blanc that doesn't exist anymore. It was the startup studio of Air France and KLM, the air flight company, and basically they were crunching the idea of going from owning to renting stuff. And I got in contact with them like this. Anna had a profile of, she's more like product operations. She's an engineer. And we onboarded a late founder later, was our CTO. And basically, we had a good combination, those three of us. And when basically I left to build Prolong, I went one step deeper, like say, okay, now first I was alone. I was a one-man wolf pack trying to sell like a PowerPoint, literally. I crossed the road to a startup studio called Imagination Machine based in Nantes. It's an impact startup studio. They helped me do the product discovery, the user research to really confirm that my feeling of building like an after-sale platform would be great. We kind of confirmed that. We started building value proposition for brands and C-levels from the retail industry. And turns out that in May and July 23, we signed our first two clients that were really like sharing the same vision than us, that after sales should be a brand asset, and brands who don't really care about customers post-purchase will die. And they were really sharing that. And they had no tool apart from like shared spreadsheets, emails, phone calls to manage it properly. And basically they told us, okay, charge me, I will be your first client. You will use us to challenge the interfaces, to challenge the roadmap. And basically this is what we did. And once we had sold those two first clients, basically that was June 23. I said, okay, we will build something. In 6 months, you will be live. And I was like literally alone on the project. So the first person that I had never hired before for Lizzie was the CPO. So I was first looking for a CPO, and turns out I was lucky enough to cross the path with Sarah Setti, who's our CPO and co-founder today. I had the opportunity to work with her as well in the past at Wind, and she was the CPO of October, a fintech that got acquired by a company, and she had a team of 30 product managers, and she wanted to really go in the entrepreneurship world. And that was so perfect timing. I had my one of the most skilled person in France, at least for product management, Sarah, and she had in her team one of the rock star of the tech team of October, the company she working with, that also wanted to launch a project with Sarah. So thanks to Sarah, I had a CPO, then I had a CTO, and we also met someone from the startup studio Imagination Machine, Henri, who's our fourth founder. He's an engineer from Polytechnic, so very smart, very he can carry very different type of projects and topics. He specialized in AI and machine learning, and basically is our CEO, meaning that I sell the product, is taking the project in hands to roll them out in time and in budget. And he's also working on the product with Sarah, just on the AI component of the product. So we have 4 founders, and things go so fast because I think we have the best in class in sales, in project management, operation management, in product management, in tech. And that's really the dream because everything goes super fast.
Thank you. We are curious how you actually convince all these people to be part of the project, to launch this amazing new startup, because I imagine they were already having their own jobs, they were working on something else. So you must have used your secret sales capabilities, right, to convince people to be part of your team and to launch something new with you together, right? What is the secret?
Yeah, no, for sure. It was Sarah. It was simple because she was thinking about building a venture, and we knew each other because we worked in the past together. So there is a big element of trust. Sarah also had the opportunity to work with our CTO Thibaut. So same, there is a big trust between them. So for me, it was also a big proxy of reassurance because I knew that if she thinks that Thibaut is the best CTO we can have, I know Sarah is the best CPO. So and she worked with him. So okay, and Henri. It was a huge fit. He was actually thinking before we met of building a similar product, but not made for brands, made for the craftsmen, for the repair workshops, some sort of ERP for the workshops. So he was also looking around to build something in the field. So it was just a really good matchmaking done here and there. All aligned on the values, all aligned on the vision, on the impact as well that we wanted to drive. So to be honest, it wasn't that complicated to actually sell the project. And the fact that I told them, okay, this is the idea. We already have 2 clients. I started talking to investors. Many of them are willing to invest pre-seed before creating the company. It's also a good way for them.
Yeah, no, if you can share it, of course. How much did you raise before, like during the pre-seed, for example? How was that experience for you? How you did to get in touch with investors, with VCs? Tell us more about that.
Sure. So basically, after selling the 2 first projects, so we started building the core team. So the team of founders. With the team of founders, 2 first clients that were super excited, a pipeline that was also growing because there is a snowball effect. Once you have a Frisalp, it's easier to get the like-minded companies like Frisalp. Same for the group, which is a footwear company. It's easier to talk to new footwear companies after. So we started to have a growing pipeline. So with those very light element of traction, let's say, the team, the first clients, and the sales traction, we went on the road we were looking for 1 million euro at the time. And turns out we could have raised more than 2 million quite easily, but the valuation then would have been crazy. So we decided to cap it at 1 million. And we did 500,000 of non-diluting money, like loans from the bank and the government.
Yes.
So
Was it easy to obtain the loans from the banks? Considering you are a startup?
In France, we are very lucky because we have the BPI, the French investment bank, that basically very easily, if you have a serious project, can fund your loan of 25% of what you raise. So if you raise 1 million, they will easily give you like 300 million, 250, 300 million, 300K, sorry. And once you have the BPI, it's easy to ask other banks to basically give the other half. So for that, the French government, I think, is doing a very good job. So it wasn't hard. And to look for the 1 million, the first 1 million, to be honest, I mean, pre-seed investors like the type of projects like the one we had, meaning very ambitious tech and digital project, but also very impact driven. The fact that I was like a repeat founder. I think it's a proxy also. Is a proxy of trust for sure. I mean, it's funny because the day I left, when I left Lizzie, it was funny because the day I announced it on LinkedIn, you have some sort of street cred, as we say, like you get. People have a very high. Sometimes it can be justified, but still, I think when you're an investor in a very early stage like pre-seed, it's super risky. So of course, the fact that someone has already created a company that is still there, that has raised a Series A, kind of reduce the risk. The fact that
it's
we
true.
had
It's true. A lot of companies, a lot of
Yeah.
VCs want to invest in previous founders, like in companies that are by previous founders, basically. I don't even look for successful founders, but I just one that have previous experience because it's always
Absolutely.
good. You always learn a lot.
Exactly, and they are looking for proxies for signals that can reduce their risk. So the team, we really have a great team of senior people who are really experts in what they are supposed to do. The fact that I was a repeat founder, the fact we had 2 great clients, not small but great clients, not huge but very good clients to start with. I think we had the great elements, the great signals basically to kind of reduce their risk. And so far, I think they are all very happy and willing to top up to follow the next rounds as well. But it was exciting. And we started the roadshow in September 23, validated the fundraise in November 23. This is when we actually created the company, November 23. And basically we went live with the Prolong name, with the branding, with the website in January 24. And this is when we announced the fundraising. So it's always also exciting to say, hey, by the way, this is my new project. This is Prolong. We just raised 1.5 million euro in equity and debt. We are launching 2 clients, Frisalp in 10 countries. It's always impressed, like you go from nothing to something quite big. But obviously that wasn't done in just a week or so. It was the work, the result of a year and a half of work prior creating the actual business.
And we wanted to know more about the current strategy of Prolong, but also like what at this stage, after you raised the first pre-seed round, what are the main challenges that you are facing right now at this stage of the company, and how are you keeping up with them? Because we know that there are many in building.
We are curious to understand also like the initial maybe challenges that you faced in this startup and in the previous one with Lisi, and then if you still feel like there are still challenges as of today, or you feel like it's better. It's getting better, you're getting into the business, you know people around you, so you know how to manage stuff like in a better way, of course, nowadays.
There are always challenges. People who say there is no challenge, they are lying. Or they are very rich because they left the company. But no, there is no, there is many challenges. They are different. I mean, you try to avoid doing the same mistakes than what you have done on your first gig. So we did many mistakes with Lizzie. We realized and we did what was necessary to stay in business and continue to thrive. So I tried not to replicate those.
Like which one? Tell us more. If you can just think about like three things.
The value prop, for me, it was, we pivoted. I mean, you have to pivot many times when you start. But basically, at the very beginning, we signed the two first clients on a value proposition that seemed amazing because in a couple of months, we signed two clients on a PowerPoint. But we realized after going live in January 24 and 6 months later, that pushing the same value prop was not great because they are not all the brands, potential clients or prospects are not as bold, as visionary as your first guinea pigs, basically, that know that they take the risk of working with you because, but also it's an opportunity, I think. But so we basically were pushing big times the first 6 months of 24, the fact that we were helping brands to launch and scale their care and repair services around the world.
Yeah.
Which is still something that we do big time. But the problem was not big enough. Like care and repair, it's amazing, it's important, yet it's not a must-have, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So we started talking to our clients, to our prospects, like really like in the very early stage of the project, you know, like doing product discovery to try to understand what were the biggest pains of the clients that we could solve with our solution. And we realized that there were a non-spoiled topic, which was not care and repair, but after sales. After sales management today is a nightmare for brands and for consumers. For consumers, because when they have a problem, basically there is no easy solutions offered by the brands. Even in the luxury field, it's still a painful process. And for the brands, it costs them millions because most of the time what they do is that they exchange the product with a new one. When there is a returns, they reimburse the client or they create vouchers. Sometimes they repair, but it's free because they don't know how to charge. The operations are super complex after sales operations, and it's not serving the clients in a good way. So bad loyalty, high cost, and very low sustainability also. And we decided to basically shift from care and repair to after sales in summer 4. And since that, we are signing many clients. We're signing basically since November, 1 client a month, which is about our target. And the product that we built since the beginning was actually led towards that. So it's we are not just managing care and repair services. We are managing, we are optimizing the returns to be for products to be exchanged, to be reimbursed, to be create credit notes. So we are really managing all the workflows of after sales, and that was a great move. So being able to iterate, I think is a good, to iterate fast, to learn fast and iterate fast. I think it's very important. We raise money based on the value prop from the beginning. So obviously, the 6 months we spent to try to push the wrong value prop, we spent a lot of money because we acquired people. So we were burning a lot of cash as well, which obviously we don't have an unlimited runway. We have a couple of months of runway, which means that you are at a level now of revenue that can help you raise money, but you always expect more and you want to protect your equity when you're a founder. So you're trying also to deal with the cash situations, and that's on a monthly basis. It's very important. And the projections we did obviously a year and a half ago are not the same than the one we have today because we pivoted. The good news is that if we haven't pivoted, maybe we would be dead already. So cash, of course, is a big challenge when you are very early with ambitious projects, meaning that we have hired we have a team of 10 people in total, meaning that we are burning quite a lot of money and obviously without endless money, retail money. Hiring right as well. Is a challenge, not just right, but also at the right moment. We hired, for Lizzie, we did many mistakes hiring the wrong profiles. I mean, hiring is so complex. It's very hard. And I think a good thing to do is to don't just challenge the people you want to hire internally, but if you have investors, maybe ask them to challenge them. If you hire a CTO and you have no tech in your company, ask a friend, a CTO, a friend of a friend to challenge him or her because he will have a different perception. So yeah, hiring was complex.
Regarding that, so let me just, because you mentioned a couple of very interesting points. So I would say the first lessons that you learned is that how to pivot the value proposition very quickly. The second can be the second, like, also advice for future founders can be very mindful of your cash at the beginning, let's say, if I can summarize it that way. And the third one is about like be very careful with the hiring process. How did you, because your hiring is, I think, probably one of the most difficult things about starting a company. So what do you mean when you say try to ask support from investors in order to challenge your employees? What do you mean by that?
I mean that, you have a cognitive, bias, how you say,
Yeah,
when
bias.
you are the founder, you have a bias,
Yeah.
because you are too much into the project and you
Yes.
might not see things that someone from the external world might see. So I think having someone in the process from an external person, a consultant
Yeah.
specialized in that,
Yeah.
an investor, many VC, they have their own team and you can use their team to challenge someone, even a business angel or someone that can really give you like a fresh perspective can be helpful.
External.
Of course, another advice is reference call. Make ref calls, not just one, but several, to also collect feedbacks from previous employers. That's very important. And ask the right questions, but also, so it's hire the right person, but also hire the right person at the right time. At Prolong, we did a mistake. We hired a very good person, but way too early. Because the plan was to have that many clients at a certain time, we anticipated saying, okay, we are going to recruit this person 3 months before. Turns out that the sales based on the previous value prop were very slow. So basically the person during 3-4 months came with almost nothing to do. So frustrating for her, very expensive for us. So we decided at some point to say, okay, she was not happy. So she found a new great project for her. But yeah, that was also a big mistake we did. We found a solution, but we maybe waste our time and waste our money, which was
Yeah.
good.
No, those are three great learnings, I think. Thank you for that. And if you can think of three very positive things that you did building Prolong and the things that you will replicate in the future if and when you would like to build another startup, which are they?
Sell before you build. I would say like really sell your value proposition to brands before creating any sort of business. Second one is hire or co-fund the company with a product person. At least if you're in the software space, hiring a CPO, creating the business with a CPO it's amazing, and making the life of the CTO much easier as well. I would say the more the better. Don't build a company alone, or maybe you're a superhero, but I think it's great to have like sparring partners as well. That's 2. And 3, hire the best people. We decided to hire less than what I did for my first company, but senior people.
You
And I
hired
think
less people, but more senior. Is that right?
exactly.
Okay,
Yes,
interesting.
and that's really amazing because people are much more autonomous, are much better than me, obviously. But even in sales, I'm planning to recruit after Series A VP sales, and I want someone that is much better than I am. I will still be part of the process for the enterprise sales, but yeah, someone that is much better managers than I am, a much better process follower than I am, and the worst. So people that are better than you in every department. And I think it's wiser to hire people that are more expensive but very good instead of hiring maybe 2% that are junior and will actually not deliver and waste your time as a founder.
I think that this is an interesting point because sometimes I wonder how this is perceived by investors and VCs, because usually when you want to demonstrate that your company is growing, right? It's going fast. So the fact that you hire more talent, it's also immediately like a good message to the external market, let's say to the investors and the VCs. So how did you manage their expectation, or like the fact that you wanted to attract future foundings, and the fact that you are actually focusing on like less is more, let's say, so less people but more qualified?
Well, that was part of the vision since the beginning, so they were really aligned with that. And I think if they invest in you, they invest in your in your feelings as well. So when you're early stage,
They
they don't
trusted
really
you, basically.
they trust you to trust us, and they don't really necessarily challenge us, but they follow very closely, obviously, the results. But also, I wanted like another piece of advice, which I think is very important, is that the business founder, the CEO, most of the time of the VP sales, I am the VP sales and the CEO, need to make the first million alone. And that's very, very important. It could be very tempting after a fundraising, like a seed or pre-seed, to hire like salespeople. But I think it's a mistake because nobody but you, the founder, would better sell the product. And if right away you hire someone that will sell for you the software, you will not collect the verbatims. You will not get like the verbatims, the feedbacks, the body language of the clients, because your value prop can't be perfect since day one. It has to be iterated on. And I think you need to make the first million alone. I think that's a very important process.
Yeah.
When I say it's 1 million of annual recurring revenue.
Yeah, clear. And Tanguy, what's the biggest goal right now for the company? So which are the biggest goals, like multiple goals that you have right now you're focusing on?
Right now, I mean, we are doing like a very small fundraising, but the goal is to go to Series A basically next year to reach 1 million of ARR. So it's selling. Basically, last year we built an amazing product. We really started selling in September 24. Now we need to sell, and of course deploy all our clients. So starting March, we will be releasing 1 client a month, and the goal is to keep the pace, like 1 new client a month delivered, 1 new client signed, and the goal, which is totally doable. I mean, we have a very solid pipeline, but yes, now we need to sign and deliver to really reach this million of ARR to go to Series A, and the goal then will be to scale abroad and be able to roll out our solution, not just in Europe, but also in North America, in Asia, including China, which is very challenging when we talk about SaaS, because we're using Google as a cloud provider, and obviously Google is not located in China. So you have to do things differently with local partners, which is very expensive, very time consuming. So that will be scaling worldwide, and reaching Series A will be the next goal for the next 2 years, basically, the big goals for the next 2 years.
And do you have any like prioritization on the regions, like world regions? So would you start first with like North America, or you would rather start first with China, or is there any priority that you're planning to, let's say, start with?
Yeah, we focus today in pan-European region, like Europe. mainly French brands that have operations across Europe, but also operations in North America. So I would say Europe and North America is the big challenge. Europe first, America two, and China will be after a Series A, so in 2 years, let's say.
Okay.
And which kind of clients, Tanguy, do you go after? Let's say, like, which kind of like market is the one that you're focusing on? Like small, medium enterprises? Because I saw some of the brands are very like big brands on your website, on Prolong website, but I was curious if you had which kind of like
Medium and enterprise. I would say the sweet spot are brands that makes north of 500 million euro because they are big enough to perceive the full value of our software. If
okay.
you're small, managing just a couple of stores, then we're not ideal because we're probably too big of a software for small operations. When you're big, operating across different channels, different regions, managing different taxes, different custom, then the value, the perceived value of our software is much higher because the problem of managing a good after sales is much bigger and
Yeah,
much more
because
complex.
Prolong has also an impact on their inventory. So basically you manage, because you like Prolong manages all the post after sales services, then it helps also the companies to manage inventory better and to align the production with the demand, or like in order to forecast the demand a little better. How does it work?
Yeah, the purpose of the software is to help brands better collect service claims. So they collect claims online, offline, or through their resellers. We collect the claims. We make them fall in automated workflows so they can be resolved as fast as possible with the best possible price and with the best customer experience as possible. So that's what we do. We collect claims and we orchestrate them from A to Z till resolution. And we provide, as you just said, like tons of data around product quality. What are the products that are being the most repaired at what moment of the life cycle of the products? What are the spare parts that are being the most replaced? This is like amazing new data that the brands don't necessarily have today that we can send back to the studio production team. And of course, that's amazing because in real time, they know what does the product becomes once they are sold. And that's data that they don't really
You can adapt
have
in
today.
production. Yes, of course.
And Tanguy, what about the AI integration? Like, is it already integrated? This is something you're already working with. Is this something that you would like to implement? You would like to improve? What is your view in general on that?
AI is great. It's amazing, but it's also very, very expensive to do it seriously. So we don't want to
For the moment, yeah, for sure.
put buzzword in our value proposition saying AI powered after sale platform because that's not true. To do it like very properly, we need a couple of millions data scientists, data engineers, machine learning engineers to do it. So what we do today, and that's really the specialty of Henri, our fourth co-founder, COO and data, is working on proof of concepts with some brands to test stuff at low scale. Meaning that we are trying to get pictures, for example, of damaged products, enough pictures that we are labelizing to basically train an agent, a specific agent, to understand, to be able basically with a picture to have an automated recognition of a default and potentially based on this picture, allowing the client in the future to just from his couch, literally you have a dress which has a zipper that is damaged. You take your dress on the website of the brand, you take a picture, and just with the picture, it will recognize the product, recognize the problem, know who you are, say if it's under warranty or not, if it can be repaired, at what price, and the time you will need between the day you will give the product till the day you will collect it back.
Is it already like a feature that is already available, or is it for in the future?
No, we are proof of concepting it with some brands. So it's POCs. It's not inside of the product.
It's a pilot.
It will be seriously. Yeah, it's a pilot, and we will do it seriously after a Series A. So in a year and a half, 2 years. Because again, it requires like hundreds of thousands of euros of investment, which we don't have as we are very early stage.
But so if we understand properly, you definitely see AI as part of your company one day, right? Like fully integrated and probably even helping you to simplify even more a lot of processes and acquire even more clients, I guess, right? To simplify everything and in order to allow you also to work less, let's say, right? This is what we all hope one day, that AI will help us to enjoy more our free time and work less, earning the same money possibly.
But without already AI, but just with automation and algorithm, we are already like making the life of after sale people like much easier. Like literally at Result, they weren't allowed to take vacations during winter time. Now they can go in vacations, and basically the after sales will run without people. So we are already doing like amazing stuff. But yes, the goal with the AI will be to streamline the internal operations, to improve the customer experience as well, to allow quality teams maybe with a prompt to collect feedback data on the product quality. So yeah, I mean, there are tons of use cases that we are working on right now. But yeah, before it will be embedded into the product, it will require like a significant investment, which we will do for sure. I mean, it's you can't deny like AI is so
Yeah.
Understood.
For
So,
sure.
Tanguy, as we are approaching the final stages of our interview, we have one more question that we would like to ask you, and it's what keeps your momentum going? So, we would like to understand what keeps you motivated and what keeps you want to keep going, to improve your company even more, to hire even more employees. If you can.
And also, what helps you through the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur? Because we know it can be tough to just deal with the day-to-day things.
it's a roller coaster. It's a permanent roller coaster. So it's not made for everyone. So I'm okay. I deal with stress quite well. I'm not in good and bad moment. I'm still average on my horse pace, let's say pace. But
Right.
no, it's what keep me motivating is really like the challenge. I'm convinced that we have the best vision, the best execution, the best teams. We have big competitors. I mean, we are really like fighting against SAP, Oracle, Salesforce, big time, like Service Cloud, like all the ERPs of the world, and basically all the big competitor basically is the make or buy. It's either you make a custom product on top of Salesforce or on top of your ERP. That's our biggest competitor. So it's basically Accenture or all those like big IT company. So it's so exciting to come with a product that can do much better than those big guys. Of course, we are not replacing SAP or Salesforce. We are just becoming an addition instead of
Vertical,
custom
you're just
developments.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
of
think it's
course.
very interesting, and the mission behind is really to make care and repair as easy as buying new. That's really it never changed since the beginning. We are dealing with the topic of after sales, which is the Trojan horse, but inside of the horse, there is making care and repair really the new norm, the new go-to options when it comes to quality returns, either under warranty or out of warranty, that there is options to repair, to maintain, to keep the product in the loop. And we believe by dealing by a bigger thing, which is after sales, we can really have a great impact by scaling really care and repairs around the world as well.
Just one more question regarding that. What is your vision for Prolong? Do you want to do you hope that the company will grow and expand and you want to keep working at Prolong, or your vision will be like just making it a successful company, eventually sell it and then build another one? If you can make a wish for the company, what would you prefer?
Me, what excited me, at least for my first gig with Lizzie, it was going from 0 to 1 and not
Yeah,
from
that's
1 to
what I'm
100.
asking.
But it doesn't mean that we will sell the company, because it just means that when we will reach 10 million ARR, we will probably hire a CEO, which will be much better than me. And I will just stay executive to do like some special project. So to be honest, as long as we keep having fun with the team, as we have impact, clients that are happy. I mean, selling is not a necessity. Like having a good life, being able to sustain my family is the first goal, let's say. And even like after leaving Lizzie, I could have go back in. That's actually I don't know, but into a corporate. But it depends of your mission. I mean, I'm
Yes.
personally mission driven, and I know my co-founders are mission driven. So our mission is really to scale care and repairs. We want like in 5-10 years that it's just a norm and potentially a law also in fashion. And we really want to push that big time. And maybe in 10 years, we will want to work on something new, different. And if we have an opportunity to exit, we will do it. I mean, we are so so at the bottom of the mountain right now that we
Of course,
we
hard to
don't really
see
think about it like
that far. Yeah, no, for sure. So, Tanguy, thanks a lot for this interview, for this chat. We had an amazing
pleasure.
time, and I think it was a great, great episode. So we loved having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Erika.
being
Thank you,
with
Vlada.
us. And we are very happy to know that company like yours exists because we are consumers, right? So we all do shopping,
Yeah.
especially Fuzalp. I was just recently checking it. I was about to buy a ski suit. So knowing now that there is actually a strong company for the after sale maybe will motivate me even more to spend money, to renew my
The
ski
product
suits
will,
and everything.
yeah, and the product, if you need to get it repaired, I mean, the experience is so great. Like literally, Fusal probably have one of the best post-purchase customer experience in the world, and it's just a 60 million euro company. I mean, it's a rather small business, and they are probably much better than any luxury company that makes billions. And so we are really helping, and that's really the mission to elevate the post-purchase journey
Of
and
course.
elevate care and repair.
Amazing.
So thank you
We
very much
wish
for
you all
the
the best.
invitation.
We wish
Thank
you,
you.
of course, to grow and to have all the success that you deserve. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. It was amazing. We enjoyed, and thank you for sharing everything. Your difficult moments, your best moments. For sure, it's a very valuable experience for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Speak soon. Take
And
care. Bye bye.